G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm back for some more Reboot Your Bridge, and Bec's with me again, and we wanted to talk about where are the cards. So these are the questions that I love to ask to build a picture of the missing hands. Anyway, let's jump right in and see how we go. The next thing I wanted to talk about is where are the cards. So this is something I like to do to try and work out pictures of the missing hands, to work out what cards I actually think that they've got. So there are a set of questions that I usually go through, so I'll just bring them up. So questions that I like to ask, whether I'm defending or declaring, include like what's my hand shape and what's dummy's hand shape. So I do this at trick 1 just so that later in the hand, after you've played a bunch of cards, you can actually remember what the cards were. Lots of people just get in and start playing cards, whereas doing that just helps you remember it later on. Another thing three more questions I like to ask at trick 1 is, how many high card points are missing? What do I know from the lead, or what happened at trick 1? And what do I know from the bidding? So these questions I always ask at trick 1. And then subsequent questions that I like to ask are, how did the suit divide? As soon as someone shows out, I stop and work out how all the suits split. And then a few other questions are like, why is Declarer doing what they're doing? Like, why would you try and take that line of play if you were Declarer? So trying to get inside their head. Okay. Or why is partner or the opponents doing what they're doing? And then I try and piece this all together with what sort of hand shape they've got. So it's a bit of work, but it's one thing that as you practice it, you'll get better at. Anyway, let's just bid the hands and we'll try and work through these questions.
Okay.
You have to click back in, yeah.
Pass.
Yep. Okay, so first question, what is your hand shape in order of spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs?
3, 5, 2, 3.
3, 5, 3, 2. So I go in suit order, even though Bec O'Reilly messes around. And what suit order is dummy? Or hand shape is dummy?
3, 5, 3, 2.
Yeah, so we're the exact same shape as dummy. Right. What do we know? Well, how many high card points are missing?
24.
Yeah, so we've got 8 as dummies.
Wait, there's the queen and the king as well.
Yeah, so don't worry about the queen of clubs. Okay. We're only counting ours and dummies at the moment.
So 21.
Yeah, so we have 8 and dummy has 11, is it? Yeah, so 19, 21 missing. Okay, and what do we know from the bidding?
I can't remember, how did the bidding go?
So diamond by west, a heart by east, a no trump by west.
Has a balanced.
So we know west is balanced, and how many points do they have?
They have 12 to 14, 11 to 14.
Yeah, so how many points does partner have?
8 or 6.
So 5 to 8, yeah. So we know partner's got 5 to 8 points. We know west is balanced. How are hearts divided?
2, 1.
Who's got the 2?
West.
Yep. Any guesses at what sort of hand shape west has? You don't need to be spot on here, but just a rough guess.
No. I don't know.
So how many diamonds do you reckon west has?
Most likely 4.
Yeah. So I would guess west is 1 or 2 hand shapes. One is a 3, 2, 4, 4. Or the other one is a 3, 2, 5, 3. The reason being is west opened a diamond and now they've got at least 4. The rabbits also like to bid their suits up the line, so what would they do if they had 4 spades?
Bid spades.
Yeah, so they don't have that, so they've got 3 spades and 2 hearts. So now that we know that, then they've got either 4, 4 in the minors, or 5 diamonds and 3 clubs. Alright. What do we know from the lead?
Partner has the jack of clubs, probably.
Yep. So in their 5 to 8 points, we know 3 of them are in clubs at the moment. Cool. Alright, so I like just to do that at trick 1, just take it nice and slowly and work out that sort of stuff. So now we've got a good idea of what West's hand looks like, how many points to expect from partner. Go from there.
Okay.
Okay, so here we saw our partner show out. So we had a theory that West had 2 hearts and partner had 1. Now we know for certain.
Yeah.
Some people might bid 1 no trump on singletons and things like that. Okay, so what's happened now?
Partner had the ace of diamonds.
So do they have any more points?
Probably not.
Okay, so we've seen partner show up with Queen Jack of clubs. Ace of diamonds is their 7 points. They might have the Jack of spades. That's it. Queen of spades. So, West had 12. Oh, there was 21 missing, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I was going off 19 still. Yeah. Alright, but West was a 3-2-4-4. So by doing these sorts of questions and slowing yourself down, you can know where the cards are rather than just going, I'll play this now. You might not use that information straight away, but building a habit of being able to do this is pretty good.
How do we feel about being 11 count?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Feel really good about it.
Well, I think we just passed now.
So partners doubled for takeout and then doubled again saying, I really want you to take it out, so they're a maximum passed hand.
So,
But they've probably got both minors rather than spades.
okay, so 4 diamonds.
Yep. Okay, they really like their hand. I don't know how they can have a passed hand that would do this, but sure.
Alright.
They're probably 6-5 in the minors or something.
Well, let's see.
Or not.
Or not.
Okay. So first step is like usually we'd plan the play, but let's focus on where are the cards. So let's go through those first 5 questions again.
Okay.
So what is your hand shape?
5, 1, 4, 3.
Yep. And dummy's hand shape?
1, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, good. Okay. What do we know from the bidding?
They have lots of hearts. So West has 5 hearts.
And East has 4?
Yeah. Or could be 6 and 3.
Yeah, so yeah, it's either of those 2. How many high card points are missing?
A lot. We have 11 and 11, so 22. There's 18 missing.
Yep. How do you reckon they're divided?
Probably West has more. East with a passed hand, so. I don't know, they could be split pretty evenly.
So would you overcall on a 9 count? At the 2 level?
Maybe, if you had 6 hearts.
If you got 6 hearts, maybe you might be sort of 9
Probably
points.
more likely that it's got 10. But
Yeah. I'd usually pick West as about 10 to 12, and East as like 6 to 8.
okay.
But it definitely could be 9 or things like that. What do we know from the lead?
They let a trump.
Damn.
Means they would, I don't know.
So, when people lead trumps, why would you lead trumps?
If I had a lot of them.
So if you had a lot of them, you might lead trumps, but it would probably be doubled on this sort of auction if someone had a lot of trumps.
That's true.
Another couple of reasons why I lead trumps is, firstly, if I had lots of spades and I thought you were going to ruff spades, right?
Yeah.
So if I was sitting there with like King Jack fourth spade or something like that, it seemed like the only way for you to get rid of your spade losers would be to trump them. So to get rid of them, I'd draw trumps.
Okay.
Another reason might be is I don't really like any of my other leads. Maybe you've just got scattered honours everywhere and don't want to lead away from anything, so you're just trying to find a passive lead. So they're one of the two things that I think might be happening from them leading a diamond. Alright, so now we've done those first 5 questions. We're also declarer, so let's plan the play. So we've got equal length in trump, so we can pick either hand to lead trump, make a plan from. So which hand do you want to make a plan of how to get rid of your losers from?
My hand seems easiest.
Okay, so how many losers do you have?
1 in diamonds.
Yep.
And 4 in spades.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 clubs.
Only 1 in clubs, because we can play the ace, then the queen will lose to the king, and then the jack will be a winner.
So 1.
So we've got 1 in clubs, 1 in diamonds, and 4 in spades. So we have to reduce this down to 2. So how can we reduce our losers?
Rough them.
Okay, can we ruff all 4 spades?
No.
No. But we might be able to ruff some of our spades. What other techniques can we use? We'll definitely trump some spades, but...
We can try and set up clubs.
Yeah. So if clubs divide 3-2, we can probably discard 2 of our cards.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also potentially take a club finesse. So if the club finesse works, that'll get rid of one of our losers.
Yeah.
So we might be able to take a working club finesse and then set up clubs to throw 2 spades away. So we might be able to get down to 0 club losers and 2 spade losers if clubs divide with the king on side.
Yeah.
Which then would mean we've got 2 spade losers and a diamond.
Yeah, 2 spades.
So we'd probably still want to try trumping at least one of them.
Yeah.
So by working out how many other losers we can deal with, that tells us how many trumps we actually need to keep in the north hand.
Okay, so we just need 1.
Yeah. If we wanted to make 12 tricks, which might be possible on this hand if everything works nicely, then we'd need to ruff 2 spades.
Okay, we might need to ruff 2 spades if the club finesse doesn't work.
Yeah. So the first thing I'd want to find out is, does the club finesse work?
Yeah.
Because that'll tell us how many spades we actually need to actually trump.
So we do that first.
Okay. No. Alright, so how many spades do we need to trump?
2.
2.
So we need to win this one.
So because we're going to play ace of spades next, it won't actually matter which one we do. So diamonds broke poorly, so we're going to be in a lot of trouble here. So we're not going to be making 5 diamonds at this stage, with diamonds breaking badly, the club finesse losing.
It's not looking very good.
So I'd revise my plan and just start cashing a club, at least one. Now, we're in damage control, so we can either play another club if we think East has the last club, or we could just try and cross ruff, so go like heart ruff, spade ruff, and then cash out club.
Let's cash the club first.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So we can now play another club. Doesn't matter if they're rough or not. Are they out of trumps?
I think they still have one more trump.
Strange that they haven't trumped in. They let us get one discard away. So now we can play 10 of diamonds. Yep, down 2. But everything broke poorly. I think that was the best that we could do. Just have a quick look at Gib. Oops. Could have got out for down 1, but yeah, I'm happy with how we played that.
Okay. To pass.
Yep. Alright, so let's go through those first 5 questions again. So what's your handshake?
3, 3, 5, 2.
And dummy's handshake?
4, 2, 2, 5.
Yep. And how many high card points are missing?
21.
Yeah, so we got 7 and dummy's got 12. So 19, 21 missing. Yep. And what do we know from the bidding?
West has probably like 12 points.
Yeah, so West has enough points to bid game. How many spades do you reckon they've got?
At least 4, but probably more.
Yeah. That's about all we know. We also know partner didn't want to overcall or preempt or anything. So if West has only 12 points, how many points does partner have?
7.
Weren't there 21 missing?
Oh yeah, it was 9. I did the same thing you did last.
It's easy to do.
9.
Yeah. So we know we're trying to defend this contract with partner having at most 9 points. Okay. What do we know from the lead?
They might have 4 clubs.
Yeah, so they might have length in clubs. If West had the jack of clubs, usually they'd let that run around to their jack if they had, say, jack doubleton or something like that.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, maybe they just really want to be in the east hand to take a finesse or something like that. Alright. So we can play. Okay, how did clubs divide?
I had 2. 1, so 5. 5.
Yep, so partner's got 5 clubs. What do we now know about West's handshake?
They have only 1 club.
Yep.
So
Can they have only 4 spades?
No.
No, because if they've got 1 club and 4 spades, that'd give them like a 4-4-1 shape.
Yeah.
And they'd bid a heart or a diamond. They might have, say, 4 spades and 5 diamonds, but then partner probably would have led their singleton diamond.
Yeah.
So that's not the case. So West probably has like 5 spades, singleton club, maybe 4-3. Yeah, so that'll pretty much be all their points because they had. There we go. There's the extra points. West had a shortage, so that's why they bid game with less than. Okay, so West was a 5-5-10 count on that hand. Partner actually had 11 points. So it's pretty hard to pick that because, yeah. Anyways, does that make sense about building a picture of the missing hands? It's something that you want to sort of work on as you go. So we'll do one more of those. Okay, so what's your hand shape?
1, 5, 4, 3.
And Dummy's hand shape?
3, 2, 3, 5.
Yep. How many high card points are missing?
I don't know, I can't add this up. 14 plus 12 is 26, so...
26.
There's 14.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
You got there in the end.
Yeah, so how do you reckon the points are divided?
West probably has most of them.
So East made a cute raise showing 10 or more points, and West was interested opposite that, so they'll be around like 11, 12 points. If they had much more than, like, they're probably 11 to 13. They might have a bit of shape. Yeah, which would give partner, there was, how many points missing? 14 points missing.
So it gives partner like
1 to 3. Maybe a few extras if West has some shortage. Next, what do we know from the lead?
I have no idea, I was just thinking that.
So,
I don't have the 10.
Yeah, so when you lead an honour, you're promising the one below it usually, or a shortage.
Yeah.
So West probably has a singleton or doubleton diamond. Okay, so how many diamonds would that give the West hand?
Sorry, you confused me. You said
So,
West has a shortage, but it's the North that has a shortage. I got it all figured out.
Yeah, I'm just keeping you on the ball.
Yeah. 3 plus. So there's 7. Then they could have 5 if that's a singleton, or 4 if it's a doubleton.
Yeah. Is there any benefit in covering this?
No.
No, because the only reason you cover something is to promote something for either you or partner.
Yeah.
And we don't have the 9 of diamonds. If partner has the 9 of diamonds, it'll fall under the 10 anyway. So no benefit in covering this, so you can just duck it.
Yeah. Let's win this. And then play a diamond and see what happens.
Okay, so how did diamonds divide?
So West has 4.
Mm-hmm.
And has 2.
Yep.
I suppose I can just win this one too.
Yep.
Wow.
Alright, how did clubs divide?
How many? I had 3. That was 5. You had 1. So partner has 4.
Yep.
And then West
So
has 1.
what sort of hand shape do you reckon West has?
4 diamonds. 1 club. 5 5 spades. And that would leave how many's left over? Three hearts.
Yeah, cool. So now we've got a good idea of what West's shape is. And we can keep trying to give partner a ruff.
Okay. Let's win that one. They played them all.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we could have potentially tried is to just force West to keep ruffing. That was another option when we got in with the King of Hearts. So after we've played all this, if we make West ruff, that'd be down to 3 trumps, and partner has more trumps than them. Yeah. And my partner would be able to ruff a diamond at some stage, so that's another line of play that we could go for. Neither of which worked. I said one more, but let's do one more again.
Okay, 2 diamonds. Do I want to bid? I don't like bidding.
So what I like to do here is try and visualize what you expect from partner's hand. What do you reckon that hand looks like?
They have 6 diamonds.
Yep.
And
so if partner's got, say, king, queen to 6 diamonds, and 1 spade and 3 in the others. We'll only give them 5 points, but they could have more. What do you reckon you might be able to make?
maybe 3 no charm. I don't know.
Yeah, so how many, if partner had king, queen to 6 diamonds, try counting your winners in that case.
6 diamonds. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. So if you're going to get to 9 tricks like that, then I'll just give 3 no trumps a go.
Oh.
Won't necessarily work. Other options are bidding like 2 no, which is like an inquiry. Some people play that as like a shortage ask, other people use it to find out other information. If you could find out partner had a singleton heart, then you'd know 3 no trumps wouldn't be a really good spot. But the robots don't do that, so I just jam 3 no trumps and... Okay, so the hand was pretty close to what we expected. And now we just have to hope they don't rattle off 5 hearts against us.
Yeah. See how it goes.
No, they didn't. Next step, we want to hope diamonds break.
Yeah, so...
They did not. Alright, so what else do we have here? How many winners do we have?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bagwell?
So we've got the king of spades, ace of clubs, and 3 diamonds.
Yeah.
Which will get us to 7 tricks. So we've got a couple of choices. We could either play a club now, which is sort of guaranteeing that we're going down, but the opponents might not cash hearts. They probably will, but if they play another spade, maybe the club suit sets up now.
Okay.
Or we could potentially play diamond to the 10, and then the king, queen of diamonds, but then that would set up their diamond winner. I would try playing a club now.
Just a small one.
Yep.
Which one should we throw in?
So if you had the king as west, what do you reckon you would do?
Duck.
So you can see the queen 10-8 in dummy. So I personally would
probably
just hop up with it and
play it if you had all those hearts.
yeah, yeah. So I'd try the 10 because west might hop up with the. Cool. Now we can go in with the king of spades. Pitch a club, or no, pitch a diamond, because we can't use all those. And take a diamond finesse.
Alright. And then
We can cash out king, queen, no diamonds, and all of our clubs should be good. All of our clubs will be good now. Nice. So what we were doing there in guessing the club suit, what we're doing is what other lines of play could the opponents have done?
okay.
And like we had to guess, do they have the king or the jack? But with the king, they might have done something else. But with the jack, they couldn't have done anything else.
Yeah.
Which now makes it more likely to play it like that. Does that make sense on where the card stuff works?
Yeah.
Cool.